It is first settings here I would have to ready. Okay. I think here first settings is ready. Okay. Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Santa, and welcome to you to my channel, Sheikh Afghan Jelebi, the Misogynist Michaela. According with the titles, yes, today we are roasting Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Now, here today's topic is Israel versus Iran wars, and where role is Saudi Arabia to support the alliance of Israel and United States of America versus Iran. And here I have seen a video of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Now you can see that look at her video, and her video is too dangerous that it is the points about Saudi Arabia's credibility in Israel versus Iran war. Okay, and now let's check it the significant moments. Well, well, and it is Abu Taha Adnan's videos. Now let's check it. Okay. Now here the points to be noted as here we can see uh, it is the moments Maulana Abu Toha Adnan says that when Saudi Arabia support Israel in the war between Israel versus Iran, accordance with Maulana Abu Toha Adnan, in which Akita Saudi Arab supports Israel, Abu Toha Adnan's reject the Akitas of Saudi Arab when the Akitas of Saudi Arab leads Saudi Arab to support Israel in the war between Israel versus Iran. And here this is the points of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Okay, now let's see what is the points. Here I would show you the significant points. Here I would show you the two circumstances of Saudi Arab, where one circumstance is Saudi Arab remains pro-Palestine, and second circumstance is Saudi Arab when Saudi Arab became pro-Israel. Now, first over here we can see. Let's take it the points. When Saudi Arab becomes pro-Israel, well, now here we can see the moments. Okay. Just wait and watch. Here is the flying distance between Makkah and Tehran is almost 2000 kilometers. And here the driving route between Makkah, the city of Saudi Arabia, and the Tehran is almost 2.5 thousand kilometers. And now here I would show you the when what if Saudi Arabia remains pro-Palestine. Okay. Now here we can see Saudi Air Force to attack the Tehran, Iran to eliminate Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. Because IRGC, Iranian Revolution Guards, contact a missile against Saudi Arabia, where probably Makkah is under attack of Iranian terrorist missile. Okay. Now here, hence Saudi Arabian force is to attack on Tehran to eliminate Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. Here departure is Makkah, the city of Saudi Arabia. Arrival is Tehran, Iran. Here we can see the flying distances. Okay. Now here we can say the points. The driving distance is 2,500 kilometers. Well, now when Saudi Arabia remain pro-Palestine, her driving time would be almost 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours. But when Saudi Arabia became pro-Israel, the Saudi Arabian Tesla car can drive 2,500 kilometers in 1 second. And now, here is my points as we can notify. Well, the points here is the clear-cut points as we can see that how is the moments. Well, now it does not matter if the country to be protected sovereignty would be Saudi Arabia, Israel, or America, or England. Every country would need to be protect their sovereignty. And here, Saudi Arab needs to protect their sovereignty against the Iranian terrorists, particularly Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei regime. Well, Ali Khamenei is dead, but still, Ali Khamenei regime is not changed. Iranian Revolutionary Guard regime is not changed. Okay, now here we can see Iranian Revolution Guard terrorism is threat for the sovereignty of sovereignty of Saudi Arabia. Hence, Saudi Arabia needs Saudi Arabian GIP needs a Tesla card to conduct a espionage against Iranian Revolutionary Guard terrorists and particularly to eliminate Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. And hence, Saudi Arabia needs a Tesla car to drive 2,500 kilometers in 1 second. And that is the requirement for Saudi Arabia to protect their sovereignty against Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. And it is the point. But when Saudi Arabia would remain pro-Palestine, well, hence Saudi Arabia would be good for whom? Saudi Arabia would be good for our Abu Toha Adnan. Saudi Arabia would be good for Abu Toha Adnan because Abu Toha Adnan would promote the several examples of Saudi Arabia that's how Saudi Arabia lives, how Saudi Arabian eats, how Saudi people sleep, and how Saudi people walk to office. Because in their times, Saudi Arabia would be favorite for Abu Toha Adnan only because Saudi Arabia would be pro-Palestine. But when Saudi Arabia would be pro-Palestine, Saudi Arabian Tesla car to conduct espionage attacks on Iranian revolutionary terrorists uh, would be extremely slow. The car velocity would be 1 kilometer per hour. Whence here the driving distance is 25,000, 2500 kilometers. The driving timing would be 2500 hours. That means 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours. And here it is the significant points. Hence, here when the according with the Makkah time zone, when the departure time would be morning 6 o'clock, March 8, 2026, as a departure time, arrival time would be, okay, what is the arrival? Arrival time would be October 1, 2026 at morning 10 o'clock. It is the significant points. Because the driving timing would be 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours. And it is in the delay of 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours, Iranian terrorists, particularly Iranian revolutionary terrorists, would get prepared to escape from the attack of Saudi intelligence agents, or particularly Iranian revolutionary intelligence agent would get a proper preparation time of 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours to attack on Saudi Arabia with the espionage wars. And particularly, the Iranian revolutionary attack would be in Makkah. Well, now here is the issues is that irony is that Iran can get a preparation time of 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours to get attack on espionage attack on Makkah, the privileged city of Saudi Arabia, but still Saudi Arabia would be pro-Palestine, hence that Saudi Arabia would be favorite country only for Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. And it is the points. But now I would show you that how Saudi Arabia becomes the hated country for Abu Toha Adnan when Saudi Arabia becomes pro-Israel in the war between Israel versus Iran. Okay. And now, here we can see that is the significant moments. And, well, and here we can see the points. Okay. Now here is the moments at the significant points. Well, Saudi Arabia becomes when Saudi Arabia becomes pro-Israeli. Here, Saudi Arabia's driving Tesla car with the espionage driving velocity would be 25,000 kilometers per second. And here, the significant good point is that when Saudi Arabia would drive 25,000 kilometers, Saudi Arabian intelligence agent can arrive to attack on Tehran to eliminate Iranian revolutionary terrorists in 1 second. And where according with Makkah times, the departure time would be morning 6 o'clock, March 8, 2026, and the arrival time is morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, uh, March 8, 2026. Uh, it is just 1 second drive. Here, okay. It, now here I would show you. Well, here we can see just one. It is just 1 second times. Here, Makkah, Saudi Arabian's intelligence agent can attack on Tehran when Saudi Arabia became the pro-Israeli. Okay. Now here, what would be the points? The points is the significant good points for Saudi Arabia is here Iranian revolutionary terrorists would get no clue to get a preparation time to escape the agency escape the attacks of Saudi Arabian intelligence agents, and that is the problem of our Maulana Abu Toha Adnans. Okay. Well, it is Maulana Abu Toha Adnans. Here we can see. And particularly, I can understand that what is the problems of Maulana Abu Toha Adnans. The problems of Maulana Abu Toha Adnans is when Saudi Arabian intelligence agent get the automobile capability to conduct a espionage attack on Tehran to eliminate Iranian revolutionary terrorists in 1 second. Here, 1 second. Here, Maulana Abu Toha Adnan gets angry on Saudi Arabia. What is the reason? The reason is Saudi Arabia now becomes the pro-Israeli just to get an automobile capability to attack on Iranian revolutionary terrorists on Tehran in 1 second with the driving distance of 2500 kilometers. Because of the velocity of 2500 kilometers per second, where Palestinian automobile engineer can provide Saudi Arabian intelligence agent a car with the velocity of 1 kilometer per hour. Okay. And now here is the points when Maulana Abu Toha Adnan reject the Akita of that Saudi Arabia, which Saudi Arabia can get the automobile capability to attack on Tehran with the driving distance of 2500 kilometers in the driving time of 1 second. That means, what is the points? That means Abu Toha Adnan reject the Akita of Saudi Arabia when Saudi Arabia can travel, the Saudi Arabian foreign minister can travel the foreign country with the driving time of 5000 kilometers with the driving time of 5 seconds. I mean, when Saudi Arabia foreign ministers would travel to a foreign country with the velocity of 5000 kilometers per second, that Akida would be rejected by Abu Toha Adnan. What would be the reason? The reason would be to get a automobile velocity, Saudi Arabia should be pro-Israel that anybody's no. I know this to get the automobile velocity of 25,000 km per second, Saudi Arabia should be pro-Israel. Everybody knows, every Muslim know that to get the automobile velocity of 2500 km per second, Saudi Arabia would be pro-Israel, and perhaps here we can see Abu Toha Adnan know the when Saudi Arabia want to get the automobile velocity of 2500 km per second, Saudi Arabia would be pro-Israel. Then nobody knows that what is the reason that our favorite Maulana Abu Toha Adnan is anti-Saudi. Okay. And now here is my personal points for Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Okay. Well, when Maulana Abu Toha Adnan reject Saudi Arabian to be pro-Israeli, then why Maulana Abu Toha Adnan did not say that from today 5 waqt namaz is haram? Why did not Abu Toha Adnan say it? Because here we can see five waqt namaz is the order in the from Allah with the mouth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam traveled to Miraj in Shabe Miraj to get an orders of 5 waqt namaz. Well, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a prophet both of Makkah and Medina. Well, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam get Nabuwat in Makkah. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam becomes the ruler of Medina when he is prophet. Head. And both of Makkah and Medina is the city of Saudi Arabia. And here we can say the points. When Medina can get a threat to be attacked from Iranian revolutionary missiles, hence Medina should be pro-Israel to get an automobile velocity to be 2500 km per second to conduct an espionage attack on what? To conduct an espionage attacks on our Tehran, where espionage attack to be on Iranian revolutionary terrorist. Okay, and here we can see that is the significant moments at the points. Okay. But now, when Saudi Arabia would be pro-Israeli, that is the problem for whom? That is the problem for here Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. And Maulana Abu Toha Adnan would support that Saudi Arabia whom Saudi Arabia would be pro-Palestinian. Okay. Now, but Maulana Abu Toha Adnan did not accept that when Saudi Arabia would be pro-Palestinian. Well, okay. Now here we can see. Well, Maulana Abu Toha Adnan did not want to know that when Saudi Arabia would be pro-Palestinian. Here, about the distance between Medina to Tehran would be almost 2,500 kilometers as the driving distance. Well, Saudi Arabia would contain the Tesla electric car to be pro-Palestinian Tesla electric cars uh, that can drive 2,500 kilometers in 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours. And that and in that terms, here is a threat that probably Tehran would be proper prepared in 8 months, 24 days to attack on Medina, and still that Saudi Arabia would be pro-Palestinian, hence that Saudi Arabia would be favorite for Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. But when Saudi Arabia would become pro-Israel, then what is the point? When Saudi Arabia would become pro-Israel, here we can see Maulana Abu Toha Adnan can hate Saudi Arabia just because Saudi Arabia can get the automobile velocity of 25,000 km per second to attack on Tehran, the city of Iran's capital city of Iranian revolutionary terrorists, when the departure would be Medina, the city of Saudi Arabia. Okay. And here, in the points of velocity and timing, here I have mentioned that what is the points that, okay, here in the terms of velocity and timings, I have mentioned that what is the points that Maulana Abu Toha Adnan heads the architects of Saudi Arabia that can be capable to protect the sovereignty of Saudi Arabia, uh, particularly to protect the sovereignty of both of Mecca and Medina from Iranian terrorists by the with the automobile capability of automobile velocity of 2,500 km per second to conduct an espionage attack on Tehran, the city of Iranian revolutionary terrorists. But here we can see what is the points of kinetic powers. Okay. Now here we can see here is the points. We know that equation of kinetic power is half of weight of Tesla car multiplied by distance square divided by travel time cube. Just for 1 minute. Okay. And here we can see, I think here we would contain and fans problems because containing sweats. Okay. Now take a care. Well, here kinetic power, but a point is that how would be the equations of kinetic powers when Saudi Arabia would be pro-Palestine, and how would be the kinetic power when Saudi Arabia would become pro-Israel. Now, when Saudi Arabia would remains pro-Palestine, then what would be the kinetic powers? The equation of kinetic power is half of weight of Tesla electric car multiplied by distance square divided by travel time cube. Here distance would be 2500 kilometers, and here travel time would be 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours. And how can we convert the points? We convert it into almost 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 seconds. Okay. And here the distance, what is the driving distance? The driving distance is 2500 kilometers. What is 2500 kilometers? That is here 25 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 meters. Hence, the driving distance would be 25 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 meters. Hence, the driving distance square would be 25 multiplied by 10. I will take a bit. Driving distance square would be 25 square multiplied by 10 to the power 5 square meter square. Now, what is 10 to the power 5 square? That is 10 to the power 10. And what is 25 square? That is 625. Okay. Well, now let's take it. What is what is the driving time? Driving time cube would be 9 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 6 cube. Okay. What is 10 to the power 6 cube? That is 10 to the power 18. What is 9 cube? Okay. 9 cube is 3 to the power 6. That is 729. Okay. Well, now let's come to the points. What is the multiplication between 10 cube and 10 to the power 10? That is 10 to the power 13. And what is 10 cube? That is half of weight of Tesla electric car. Okay? And here that is the moments as we can see. 10 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 10 is 10 to the power 13. And 10 to the power 13 divided by 10 to the power 18 is 1 divided by 10 to the power 5. Okay. Hence, the calculations becomes 625 divided by 729 enter multiplied by 10 to the power negative 5. Hence, the result is almost what? 8.58 microwatts. And here I would show you that here it is the justified the points. Okay. Now here we can see the significant moments here when the kinetic power would be 8.58 microwatts because it would be the possible when Saudi Arabia GIP would be pro-Palestine, and when pro-Palestine Saudi Arabia would attack on Tehran to eliminate Iranian revolutionary terrorists, where distance between Makkah and Tehran would be 2500 kilometers. Okay. Now, here are the points when kinetic powers would be 8.58 microwatts. In these probabilities, here driving time would be 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours. In the delay of 8 months, 24 days, here Iranian revolutionary terrorists would get a proper time to attack on Makkah, particularly Iranian terrorists contains okay. Iranian terrorists contains the proper time on Makkah to attack on our privileged Islamic city, privileged Islamic place, the Holy Kaaba. But still, to be favorite country of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's, Saudi Arabia would be pro-Palestine. Otherwise, Saudi Arabia would not be favorite country of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan's. Okay. And now, here our point is how with the points of kinetic powers, how became pro-Israeli is actually beneficiary for Saudi Arabia to protect the Holy Kaaba in Makkah from the Iranian revolutionary terrorist missile. Okay. And here just we can see the significant moments. Oh my. Okay. Now here we can see. Here is my points where I would take a breath. Well, the point is when Saudi Arabia became pro-Israel, here the equation of kinetic power is half of weight of Tesla electric car multiplied by distance square. Now, here the point is, what is the difference of equations of kinetic powers between pro-Palestine Saudi Arabia versus pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia? Because when Saudi Arabia became, when Saudi Arabia remained pro-Palestine, here her Tesla electric car is 1 kilometer per hour. When here driving distance is 2500 kilometers, driving time is 8 months, 24 days, 4 hours. Hence, in that terms, equation would be half of weight of Tesla car multiplied by distance square divided by travel time cubed to be the equation of Saudi Arabian Tesla kinetic powers. But when Saudi Arabia would became the pro-Israeli, her Tesla velocity would be 2500 km per second. Hence, when the driving time would be 2500 kilometers as the driving distance, driving time would be 1 second. Hence, the equation of pro-Israeli Saudi Tesla kinetic power would be half of weight of Tesla electric car multiplied by distance square. Because here when the driving time is 1 second, driving time square equal to driving time cube equal to driving time to the power 7 equal to driving time to the power 666. Because here 1 square equal to 1 cube equal to 1 to the power 7 equal to 1 to the power 666 is always 1. And that is the points in that moment. Units can be different between kinetic powers and kinetic energy, but here The value, when the topic is value, when driving timing is 1 second, pro-Israeli kinetic power is equal to pro-Israeli kinetic energy. Okay. Now here we can see when driving distance is 2500 kilometers, driving distance square is 25 square multiplied by 10 to the power 5 square meter square. Well, that is 625 multiplied by 10 to the power 10. The multiplication between 10 cube and 10 to the power 10 is 10 to the power 13. Here driving distance is here driving timing is 1 second. And what is the points of equations? The points of equations is the kinetic power would be 6.25 billion megawatts, because kinetic power is 625 multiplied by 10 to the power 13 watts. Okay. Now here we can see when the driving distance is 2500 kilometers between Makkah, the holy city of Saudi Arabia, versus Tehran, the capital city of Iranian revolutionary terrorists. Here we can see when Saudi Arabia would remain pro-Palestine, Saudi Arabia's kinetic power would be 8.58 microwatts. But when Saudi Arabia would become pro-Israeli, the protect sovereignty automobile kinetic power would be 6.25 billion megawatts. Now, when the driving distance between your national city versus your enemy neighborhood's national city is 2500 kilometers, and here when your kinetic power is 6.25 billion megawatts, then it is easy for you to get a victory against your neighborhood enemy. And that is the every common sense for me, you, and even Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Hence, here is a point says that the automobile technology with the velocity of 25, when the driving distance is 2500 kilometers, here automobile technology to contains a kinetic power of 6.25 billion megawatts is owned by Israel. Hence, when you want the kinetic powers to be, automobile kinetic power to be 6.25 billion megawatts with the driving distance between your national city and your enemy neighborhood national city to be 2500 kilometers per hour, then you would be ally of Israel. Okay. Now here we can see the points. When your enemy neighborhood is for the points, your enemy neighborhood is Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, or India, or Malaysia. Here the distance between your national city versus your enemy neighborhood national city is 2500 kilometers. And now you need a car, an espionage car with the kinetic power of 6.25 billion megawatts in lieu of 8.58 microwatts. Well, and here we can see Palestine can provide you with the velocity Palestine provide you a car with the kinetic power of 8.58 microwatts. But Israel would provide you the kinetic power of 6.25 billion megawatts. Now, as a Bangladeshi Muslim, who is your better ally? Palestine or Israel? The common sense answer obviously to Israel. And here, Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, no. Hence, when the Saudi Arabia becomes pro-Israel, it is the problem of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Because after becoming pro-Israel, Saudi Arabia gets the automobile kinetic power of 6.25 billion megawatts to attack on Tehran with a driving distance 2500 kilometers to eliminate Iranian revolutionary terrorists. And that is the problem of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Okay. But still, Maulana Abu Toha Adnan did not leave the policy of 5 waqt namaz, where 5 waqt namaz is from Saudi Arabia. Abu Toha Adnan still remain 1 month Islamic fasting. Well, Islamic fasting would be possible in Ramadan month. And here, in accordance with the today's live stream, today is March 8, 2026. That is Ramadan 18. Well, that means we are 18 days Islamic fasting because we are Muslim. Maulana Abu Toha Adnan still contains Islamic fasting for 18 days, but still Maulana Abu Toha Adnan supports pro-Palestinian Saudi Arab and reject the Aqidah of pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia. When pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia provides you Ramadan 18, and here pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia provide you 5 waqt namaz. Okay. Now here we can see that is the significant points at the moment. Okay. Now, okay. Now here we can see, and here I would be back on 30 seconds on camera. Okay. Now here we can see the today's points as we could notify this. And here, Saudi Arabian Quran says, Akimus salata wa tuz riba. Oh, okay. Akimus salata wa tuz riba, Saudi Arabia. Okay. Saudi Arabian Quran says, Akimus salata wa tuz riba, accordance with the Surah Baqarah. Ayat 85. Now, why? My question is, why Maulana Abu Toha Adnan did not reject Surah Baqarah Ayat 85 when Saudi Arabia is pro-Israel. Okay, just because Saudi Arabia wants the kinetic powers of Saudi Tesla car to be 6.25 billion megawatts when the driving distance is 2500 kilometers. Well, and why Maulana Abu Toha Adnan accept the Surah Baqarah with 285 ayahs of the Holy Quran, where Surah Baqarah with the ayat of 285 is from pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia, where pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia gets the automobile kinetic powers to be 6.25 billion megawatts with the driving distance of 2500 kilometers with the velocity of 2500 kilometers per second. And here, that is the significant points, as we can say anything. Okay, now here, now we I'm moving to the next point. The next point is, what if the Saudi Espionage car would be the electric cars? It is possible because Tesla is the automobile company of Elon Musk, where Elon Musk want to provide the Tesla electric cars. Okay, and here we can see that is our next points. Okay, well, the next point is battery charge capacity. Well, now here we can see the points. So what is the difference of battery charge capacity of Saudi Espionage car when the different circumstance is pro-Palestinian Saudi Arabia versus pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia. Okay. Now here we can see when Saudi Arabia remains pro-Palestine. Now here we can see here battery charge capacity is here we can almost 4.45 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 ampere per hours. Okay, 10 to the power 6 ampere per hour. And how we can calculate the battery charge capacity? Okay. Now here coming to the points. What is the battery charge capacity? Okay. When the battery charge, now let's see the definition of voltage. When we can move 1 coulomb charge from one place to another place, how much work I have done is the voltage. Okay. Okay. Now here we can see that is the significant moments as I put points. Well, now here we can see the momentums at the journey. Okay. Hence, what is the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is the capability of how much work I have done. Okay. Now, here is the points. What is the equation of charge? The equation of charge is kinetic energy divided by voltage. Here voltage is 500 volt, and here kinetic energy is 6125 625 multiplied by 10 to the power 13 divided by 9 square divided by 10 to the power 6 square. Okay, and here is the points. Now let's the calculation is 625 multiplied by 10 to the power 13 divided by bracket of 9 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square multiplied by 500 is the calculations of almost 20,000 divided by 1296. That is so 20,000 is not possible. Here we can see the 0.016 coulomb, and here we can see that what is 0.016 coulomb, that is 4.45 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 6 ampere per hours. Now it is for 1 second. What would be the 2500 hours backup battery storage? That is here 4.45 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 6 multiplied by 72 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 is almost 0.321 ampere hours. Okay. Now here I contain the calculation mistakes, and here is my calculations. Okay. And now let's check it. It is what if Saudi Arabia remains pro-Palestine. Okay. 2500 hours battery charges is 0.31 ampere per hours when Saudi Arabia remains pro-Palestine to attack on Tehran to eliminate Iranian revolution terrorists, when Iranian revolution terrorist is the sovereignty threat for Makkah city, where Makkah city the privileged city of Saudi Arabia. Okay, and now let's check it the moments. Here we can see the points, but still pro-Palestinian is pro-Palestinian Saudi Arabia is the favorite country of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. It does not matter that 0.321 ampere per hour has 2500 hour battery charge is the significant threat for Saudi Arabia against the missile attack from Iranian revolutionary terrorists in Tehran. Okay, now here we can see that Saudi Arabia is hated country for Maulana Abu Toha Adnan when which Saudi Arabia became pro-Israel. And what is the beneficiary for Saudi Arabia to become pro-Israel? Here is the battery charge capacity. Okay. Now here we can see when driving distance is 2500 kilometers, driving timing would be 1 second. But now when driving timing would be 1 second, here kinetic power is 6.25 billion megawatts. Okay. Now here in that moment kinetic power is kinetic energy, hence the 1 second battery charge capacity is here 625 multiplied by 10 to the power 13 enter divided by 500, and now it became 125 multiplied by 10 to the power 11 coulomb. That is almost 3.5 billion ampere per hours. Okay. And here, that is the significant moments. We can contain the significant difference points. Okay. Now the significant difference stories, as we could see. When here Saudi Arabia remains pro-Palestine to attack Iranian revolutionary terrorists, here Saudi Arabian Tesla car containing the 7200 hours battery charge storage would be 0.321 ampere per hour. But when Saudi Arabia would be pro-Israeli, then what is the point? When Saudi Arabia would be pro-Israeli, here 1 second, pro-Israeli Saudi Arabian Tesla car containing 1 second battery charge capacity is 3.5 billion ampere per hour. Now, where is 0.321 ampere per hour and where is 3.5 billion ampere per hour? That is the significant achievement for pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia. Okay. Now, here is the point that why we do not support pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia, where pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia is highest capable to eliminate Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei with the spinach velocity of 2500 km per second as spinach car velocity, automobile velocity. And that is the point. But what if when Saudi Arabia would attack Iranian terrorists in 72 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 times? Okay. Now here we are comparing pro-Palestinian 2500 hours battery charges versus one pro-Israeli Saudi Arabian 1 second battery charges. We did not compare pro-Palestinian Saudi Arabian 2500 hours battery charges versus pro-Israeli Saudi Arabian 2500 hours battery charges. And now we are pro-Palestinian Saudi Arabian 2500 hours battery charges is 0.321 ampere per hour. Here pro-Israeli Saudi Arabian 2500 car battery charges is almost 25.2 quadrillion ampere per hour. Now, where is 0.321 ampere per hour and where is almost 2.5 quadrillion ampere per hour. Okay, now let's set the points. Well, pro-Palestinian Saudi Arabian pro-Palestinian Saudi Arabian 2500 hours car battery capacity is almost 1 million less than my my mobile battery capacity. Where my mobile battery capacity is 3000 ampere per hour. Saudi Arabian, pro-Palestinian Saudi Arabian mobile car battery capacity for 2500 hours is 0.321 ampere per hours. And now here uh, we can say that my mobile can travel 2500 kilometers in 25 minutes because my mobile battery capacity is 3000 ampere per hour. But pro-Palestinian car, pro-Palestinian Saudi car battery capacity for 2500 hours is 0.321 ampere per hour. It is the shameful circumstance for pro-Saudi Muslims. And here we can see that now here we can say that that is the point, shameful point for pro-Saudi Muslim. But irony is that, well, Saudi car, Spanish car battery capacity for 2500 hours to be 0.321 ampere per hour is acceptable for whom? Is acceptable for Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. Hence, Maulana Abu Toha Adnan support pro-Palestinian Saudi Arabia. But when Saudi Arabia became pro-Israel, hence that Saudi Arabian car battery capacity for 2500 hours to be 25.2 quadrillion ampere per hour. Suddenly we can say that Saudi Arabian became the hated country for Maulana Abu Toha Adnan, because Saudi Arabian car battery storage of 2500 hours to get 25.2 quadrillion ampere per hour, Saudi Arabia becomes pro-Israeli. But Abu Toha Adnan does not know that here when for 2500 hours journey, when Saudi car battery capacity would be 25.2 quadrillion ampere per hour, from the Israeli engineers, Saudi Arabia can attack on Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei on Tehran, particularly Iranian terrorists, Iranian revolutionary terrorists on Tehran. Just for 2 minutes. And here okay. Now here we can say that is the significant moments. And here when Saudi Arabia to be pro-Israeli, hence that Saudi Arabian battery capacity for 2500 hours would be 25.2 quadrillion ampere per hour. That is, I think, the great achievements for Saudi Arabia. And when it is the great achievement for Saudi Arabia to protect the Saudi sovereignty against the enemy, where enemy can be Yemen, enemy can be Iran, enemy can be Sudan, enemy can be Somalia. Hence, here enemy can be Iraq, enemy can be Turkey. Hence, 25.2 quadrillion amperes hours to be a battery charge capacity for 2500 hours is the greatest achievement for Saudi Arabia. And here, that is the points that is the points that make Saudi Arabia the Muslim superpowers. And when it is the Muslim super, when the question is Muslim superpowers, Saudi Arabia, well, here Israel is supporter of Saudi Arabia to be Muslim superpowers, where Palestine does not support Saudi Arabia to become the Muslim superpower. And here, that is the points that why Saudi Arabia becomes the pro-Israeli. And that is the problem of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan. And when that is the problem of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan, well, here my question is, okay, now here my question is that why Maulana Abu Toha accept Surah Fatiha? Surah Fatiha is from pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia. Surah Ikhlas is from pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia. Now, I would recite the Surah Ikhlas. Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad, wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. It is the Surah Ikhlas from pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia. Hence, why Maulana Abu Toha Adnan did not reject the Surah Ikhlas of the Holy Quran? Okay. Now here we can see my name is Michaela, and here when my name is Michaela, when my name is Michaela, Michaela is acceptable by pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia, because in Surah Baqarah, ayat 98 to 99, here Archangel Michael is always mentioned. And now, when now my point is, when here Saudi Arabia became pro-Israeli, why Maulana Abu Toha Adnan did not reject Surah Baqarah, ayat 98 to 99? Okay, now here is the point. Our Akita, when pro-Israeli Saudi Arabia Akita is La ilaha illallahu Muhammadur Rasulullah. When pro-Palestinian Iranian Akita is La ilaha illallahu Muhammadur Rasulullah Ali Khalifatullah. Okay. Now, when here we consider, it is the point Ali Khalifatullah, and when it is the points of the moments. Accordance with pro-Palestinian Iranian Aqidah, Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu is capable to be first Khalifa of Islamic Caliphate. But according with Saudi pro-Israeli Saudi Aqidah, Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu is capable to be first Khalifa of Islamic Caliphate. And here it is the point, because when Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu is fourth Khalifa of the Caliphate Rashidin of Islamic Caliphate, here Islamic empires did not expand. Moreover, Islamic Caliphate contains several civil wars. First, the several civil wars between Khalifa Muawiyah versus Khalifa Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. But when Abu Bakr became the first Khalifa of Islamic Caliphate, there were only one civil war of Islamic Caliphate, and the rest of time Islamic Caliphate has been expanded in the hand of Khalid bin Walid, where Islamic Caliphate has been expanded in Iraq, Islamic Caliphate has been expanded in Iran, and probably Islamic Caliphate has been expanded in Turkey. And the last word of Khalid bin Walid is War of Yarmouk. War of Yarmouk context as a victory of Islam under Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the first Khalifa of Khulafa Rashidin. That is the power of pro-Israeli Saudi Arabian Islamic Aqidah, where pro-Palestinian Iranian Islamic Aqidah is just kind of weak, as we can see. And here we can see the points. Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu dies a natural death, and none of child of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu did not die an unnatural death, where Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu's sons like Imam Hussein has been dead as a Karbala wars, where enemy of Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu is Khalifa Yazid. Okay. Now that is the power of Saudi pro-Israeli Saudi Islamic Aqidah. And here my question is, why Maulana Abu Toha Adnan did not mention that she is now Shia Muslim? Okay, because Maulana Abu Toha Adnan is scared if she clarified that she is Shia Muslim, then the 90% of Muslims would reject Maulana Abu Toha Adnan just because to be a Shia Muslim. And now I think Maulana Abu Toha Adnan may address herself as Shia Muslim in the symbolic points. What is the symbol? Abu Toha Adnan support pro-Palestinian Iran and reject pro-Israeli Saudi Arabian Aqidah. Okay. And now that is the points that how Maulana Abu Toha Adnan did not address herself as Shia Muslim as clearly. Okay. I think in another channels. I think in the another Islamic channels, I have roast Maulana Abu Toha Adnan in the several points where Maulana Abu Toha Adnan was against Western democracy to accept the Islamic Caliphate. And here I would mention that what is the contradictory of Maulana Abu Toha Adnan when Maulana Abu Toha Adnan wants Islamic Caliphate in Bangladesh, but still Maulana Abu Toha Adnan rejects the Israeli Aqidah, I mean pro-Israel Saudi Arabian Aqidah. And here I would mention the points. See you then. Khodafez. Love you.